Hi, everybody. We are live. Thank you for coming and welcome to my little corner of the world here. I am back from my travels. I really missed you guys last week. I was in Tennessee, and I want to thank those of you who attended the Daniel Trevor conversation that I premiered on my usual live stream, slot. Thank you for attending that, and I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic conversation. So yeah, where have I been? I've been in Tennessee. We're going to talk a lot about that. It was so much fun. I got to meet so many new people that I hadn't met before, plus renew acquaintances with people that I met last year. And so that was very exciting. Before I get too far into it, I just, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Anita, and I've lost almost 150 pounds on this way of eating. There's some of my before pictures from the last 15 years of me on this journey. And, I feel like I'm closer than ever to being where I want to be. And just feeling really good. So yeah, I started off low carb and switched to keto, and now I'm pretty much carnivore most of the time, pretty much all the time. That's where I feel best. Before I get too far into, how did that happen? Before I get too far into it, I wanted to share a comment because this one just cracked me up. It is, hang on here. Speaking of Tennessee, Damaged Goods, you cracked us up with this comment just before the show. We noticed it. Tennessee is the original carnivore state, should have been put on our license plates. We will eat anything we hit while driving on down the road. Looking forward to hearing about Meatstock 2025. We all laughed. And, here in Western Canada, in BC, there's a little bit of that going on too. And I think there's some other states that I would kind of associate with that. But you may have a point there. So let's go on with our show here. A couple of announcements. We have a couple of giveaways. I do want to make sure you all know that Bonnie and Melissa are in the live chat. They will answer questions, provide links, and help you guys along here. But we have actually we're going to have two winners tonight. So I have this wonderful frother. This is from Equip. It's so nice. It comes in a case. It has a rechargeable battery. It has a double head. This is for frothing up your protein shakes. Speaking of Equip, I want to mention that today is the last day of their 30% off sale. I do have my link in the show notes to this video, but that sale ends tonight sometime, and I don't know what time. So 30% off on everything, and you can then whip it up with your frother if your name gets drawn for that. So you just put in the word frother. Now, we have a second giveaway, carnivore bars. I'm going to give away 2 carnivore bars. These are a good meal replacement. I brought 4 of them with me when I traveled this last in Tennessee. I came back with 1, so I ended up eating 3. Now, a lot of people, will say things about the expense, and yes, they are pricey. My link does give you a discount. That is in the show notes as well. But let me tell you that my traveling companion, Jody, her and I went and we had bacon and eggs. We left here from Victoria, flew to Vancouver, which takes, 3 or 4 hours in the airport for a 17-minute flight. And then you have a 3-hour layover in Vancouver. That was a little irritating. But we we decided to go and have some bacon and eggs. $24 for 2 eggs, and I think it was 3 strips of bacon. So these are not that expensive when you compare it to that. Just saying. So there's that. What else was I going to say? So I think that's all the housekeeping. So put frother in the comments if you would like we're going to just do 2 draws, same word to win. And what'll happen is we will draw for the frother first, and then afterwards we will just spin the wheel again, and someone will win these 2 carnivore bars. So it'll be two separate mail outs. Hope that made sense. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, so Tennessee was so much fun. Now, usually, we think about the food. I'm going to show you just some that. Okay, so hang on. Technical difficulties here. There's the food. This was one of the dinners. So we had, I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can see it. We had leg of lamb. We had 3 different stews, like just, beef and lamb. Then we had steaks. We had, somebody made hollandaise sauce. Somebody made, I think this was, bacon grease. Chef Rodney, that big pot in front of Chef Rodney there. He made a pork broth with pork necks. And then we always, of course, had a mountain of butter. In fact, they even put a little name tag on that called Butter Mountain. So that's kind of what you can expect food-wise when you go to a farm, a carnivore retreat. We had, there was always trays of cheese. You can sort of see some of that in front of Chef Rodney. It takes a lot to put on the cooking for an event like this. And there was a lot of meat there. Let's just put it that way. One night we had chicken. Another night we had, let me see here. I want to get this off now. We had brisket. The brisket was really good. And then we had Chef Patty's meatloaf. That was amazing. So speaking of Chef Patty, I just wanted to say, let's see here. Where did that go? So she gave me a couple of books. So she's got this Meatstock cookbook. It's got some of the favorite recipes that they make at Meatstock. That's in the video notes. She also has written a book on gut health. And, there's I haven't read the whole thing yet because I came back with 4 books, but this is her book as well. And so I was impressed with that. Reset your microbiome, boost your immune system, manage inflammation without doctors or expensive supplements, even if nothing else has worked. Chef Patty, the carnivore hippie. So it was so nice to see her again. I loved working with her. Like I helped her in the kitchen as much as she would let me last year. And this year they seem to have a lot of helpers, so I didn't have to do too much. But it was so fun to reconnect with her. So let me show you some of the other people that I have connected with. I want to, okay, we'll do this one then. So this, these are some of the other people that I met up with, and, hopefully, I don't know if you guys know them all, but we've got Jenny Middich. I had never met her before, and so it was really fun to meet her. I've seen some of her videos before, and was really, she's just so cheerful, and I really liked meeting her. Of course, we have Dr. Baker. It doesn't matter how I was standing on my very tippy toes, trying to, be a little bit taller. I still felt like a midget beside him. So you can see, that height difference there. I wish I could use a pointer here to point to different people. Dr. Boz in the very middle there, she was our opening speaker. And so she spoke outside, and, right around dinner time, I think, it's either right before dinner or right after, I can't remember. But she basically flew in, spoke, and then she was having to get up at 2:30 in the morning to go to her son's graduation. And so, she was basically in and out, which was unfortunate. It would have been nice to have spoken to her. So you can see Kelly Hogan is up there, and Linda Salant, who's also known as the Carnitarian. And there's Dr. Lisa, got Chris Cooking Nashville and his wife, Ash. I got to spend lots of time with them, and Audra and myself there. We've got Dr. Barry, Bella, Steak and Butter Girl, Steak and Butter Gal, I should say, Courtney Luna, of course, Valerie Smith. That was someone I had never met before and was very pleased to meet her. And Ben Azadi. So Ben Azadi. Let's go back to me for a second here. So Ben Azadi has just put out a book called Metabolic Freedom. I had ordered it, and it came the day after I left, which was too bad because I wanted to bring it with me, have him autograph it, but maybe next time. And I've just started reading it, so very excited about that. Hopefully you guys know about his new book. I've been watching his videos. He's been really inspiring. He's got a lot of content out there about fasting, which I've been following, and just learning so much from him. Okay, so let's go to group 3 over here. We've got some others. So I wanted to also, no, we saw that one already. This is the one. Okay, so here are some other people. So day 1 of being in Tennessee, this bottom left picture, I am standing in Chris's kitchen, and Chris from Chris Cooking Nashville, he made us steaks, and I felt so lucky to be in his kitchen watching the magic happen, and it was so much fun. I think we stayed there till like 11 at night, which I never stay up that late, but it was so much fun to talk to him and his wife, Ash. They are such nice people. So we did that on the first night, and then we drove from Nashville to Gatlinburg the next day. That's my cabin that I stayed in the mountains there that you can see. And I walked into my room, and there was sardines and salmon on the counter. And then I plunked down my sardines beside them. So my roommate was Sally Norton, and we both brought our own cans of fish. So I knew that we were going to hit it off right away. And that was so much fun. She was such a fun roommate. There's a picture, hopefully you can see it on the right-hand side there, of her and Chef Patty, Carnivore Hippie. It was so nice to be with these people. Up at the top there, you've got Maria Emmerich. She was, we found her in the kitchen so many times, helping out, making a sauce or doing whatever. She was always hanging out in the kitchen. So she's another person who's very comfortable in the kitchen. That's always where I gravitate to as well. This big handsome guy in the middle with the Carnivore Bar shirt, his name is Joshua. He is the reason why I always have so many carnivore bars to give away. He keeps me well supplied to give you guys carnivore bars and for me to have some as well. So I am grateful to him for that. Over to the left is JC and Vicky, and I don't remember the lady's name who's laughing. And there's those 3 women are laughing their heads off because I walked away to go use the washroom, and while I left my phone there, and they decided to take a selfie on my phone so that I would find this picture of them afterwards, which I thought was just hilarious. So the other thing was cool is that the picture on the top left is my recipe, carnivore cheesecake, lemon cheesecake with pork rind crumbles on top. And Chef Patty decided to use that for dessert on the first night of the retreat. So I was very honored that had happened, and it was very nice of them to recognize one of my recipes, and it definitely, so that let's get back to having a different picture up here. Hang on. Okay, there we are. I found you guys again. So that recipe actually does appear in here in Chef Patty's Carnivore or Meatstock cookbook, as well. It's going to be in my new cookbook, which will be out apparently next year sometime in 2026. Yeah, that's in the works. So and it's also there's a video of that cheesecake somewhere as well. So yeah, a lot of, I mean, I know it feels like a lot of pictures because I really did take a lot of pictures, and it was hard not to. And I, there's still, I keep thinking, oh, I didn't get a picture of this person or that person. So lastly here, we'll just go over to my traveling companion pictures. Okay, I'll have to find it. There's Jody. So Jody and I flew to Nashville from Victoria. She, people sometimes say, oh, what's it like traveling with, a stranger or staying with a stranger? And it just, I've always found that I'm totally comfortable with it, and it's always worked out pretty well with me. We became fast friends. So this is us in the streets of Nashville. We were walking down Music Row. There was a bunch of honky tonks down there. And this couple, I don't know if you can see them in the bottom left-hand corner, this couple came walking out of a honky tonk. And the guy pointed at me and said, "I know you." Turns out they are carnivores. And they regaled me with their stories of healing, which was so awesome. They both have lost 35 or 40 pounds each. The wife had type 2 diabetes and no longer, has to take any medications, is no longer considered diabetic. I mean, it was just insane to have that happen, just randomly walking down the road. We did find a place where we could eat some ribs, and we did. We ate some smoked ribs and chicken wings, and we found a Buc-ee's, and I got myself a nice tacky Buc-ee's apron there in the top right corner, coming to a video near you. So there we are. I'm just going to remove that and back to me. So if you guys have any questions about any of those people that you saw, go ahead and ask away, what they talked about or what they were like in person. It's so much fun to meet these people and to have, conversation. I like having, short little conversations as well as deeper conversations with people. I met people that I just know on Facebook, and one of there was a few shots in there that you saw in those collages. It's without having a little pointer, it's really hard. I did want to mention that JC, one of the ladies that I met from last year, who was there again this year, she also had a book that she was that she has put out, and it's the 30-day Carnivore Boot Camp. You guys probably know her as Lady Carnivore if you are on Instagram. That is her name there. I really I went through this book in a couple of days, and I really enjoyed it because it's more like a reference book. It's just got it's not a cookbook. It's like all about transitioning and all about, the science behind carnivore. So for those people who like that kind of thing, this is a really good book. She does have a few recipes in here, and I did try her slutty eggs. They were very good. They're very buttery. So I'll do that on an upcoming video. But thank you, JC, for this great book as well. And of course, Sally Norton. I helped her at her table. She had a table selling books, and this is her book, obviously. Most people know that. She is the Oxalate Lady. And so it was really good to get to know her. We spent those first few days there as roommates, and that was pretty awesome. So I just want to do another reminder about the giveaway. Put the word Frother in the comments, and we have 2 giveaways. So the first draw will be for this Equip Frother. And tonight their 30% deal ends. So use my link to take advantage of that. And then we also have Carnivore bars to give away. Meal replacement. I really like these. I eat the plain salted. I find them more than sufficient. The honey salted is also nice. And it's got just a touch of sweet for those that do honey. So try those out. So we will be drawing for that in about half an hour. And I am going to head over to the comments and questions part over here. Okay. Shan91773, how long were you on keto to lose 150 pounds? So 12 years ago, approximately, I just was doing low carb. It's been kind of a long transition to carnivore from low carb. So I started off on low carb, and probably lost 20 pounds or so doing that, and then discovered keto. While I was looking for low carb recipes and things, keto started, being the thing to do. And so I did that. And I think I lost on keto probably another 60 to 80 pounds. And so like a lot of these things, if you follow them, they work. But sometimes you hit a wall, you hit a plateau, a roadblock, whatever it was. For me, I kind of hit a place. My dad died in 2017, and so that was a major setback for me. My weight loss not only stalled at that point, I put some back on. And just to be totally transparent, I mean, life happens for people. Things get tough, and sometimes we go back to the food, and that was a period of time where I did go back to the food for some relief, and but I recovered from it. I didn't, the thing that I learned, that I've been learning along the way, this long journey of about 12 years, is that my times of trouble became less and less as long as I focused and got back. So that was probably the worst trouble that I had was when my dad passed away, and caused the most problem for me. But I didn't gain it all back. I gained maybe 20 or 30 pounds back of the 80 that I had lost, and then just quickly realized, that it was not going to bring them back. And also I had to deal with my mom who had dementia, and now it was my job to take care of her instead of my dad. And so that quickly changed the course of, I would say that changed the course of my life, because I became really connected with why I wanted to do this. That's when I started cleaning up my keto. 2017 was the same year that I gave up nuts, and I gave them up for 30 days, and I haven't taken them back. Because I mean, we're talking Costco bags of nuts, and I would just, eat them until the bag was empty. So I decided, okay, I'm going to give up nuts for 30 days. And I think I would say that was my first step to going towards carnivore. I knew that I wanted to get closer to carnivore, and so nuts was a big obstacle for me. So after I gave up, eating nuts, I gave up things like the flours, like almond flours, coconut flours, that sort of thing. I gave up making keto treats. I slowly cleaned things up, and I've been carnivore for about 4 years now. All this time, gradually losing, slowly losing, sometimes having those setbacks, like with my dad, but then, recovering. This has not been, a linear weight loss for me. Everything went perfect until I got to my goal weight. I'm still not at my goal weight. This has been, a jagged and but with the gradual downward trend. And I as I learn things, and share them with other people, then it becomes more ingrained in me. And I have found that one of the best ways to really have these things become solid in your life is to talk about them, share them, do what I do here on these live streams. I mean, I've only been doing the live streams, is it 2 years? I don't know. I'm not even sure how long. It might be a year and a half, a year and a bit. But I'm finding that the more I talk about my journey, the more I talk about these things that work for me, the more ingrained it becomes in me. So it's a real give and take. Sometimes people will thank me for talking about this because it's helping them, but it's also helping me, which I appreciate very, very much, because I'm just a regular person like you guys with this lifelong weight struggle that I've had, that I feel is going really well. I mean, I know, like, of course, I would have loved to have lost all that weight in a year or 2 years, of course, but it took what it took, and it took. I am who I am today because of the struggles and the obstacles that I've overcome. And so living with my mom for 5 years, as a dementia patient and all the other comorbidities that she had, I think it instilled a strength of character in me that I didn't know I had, but it also taught me the importance of having a why. And my why was that I didn't want to go through what I saw her go through in the final 5 years of her life. It was not pleasant. It was not good. She lost all her dignity. Really, like, to be the things that happen when you're in your mid 80s and you're 100 pounds overweight. I could see in my future that that's what I was headed for, that if I didn't keep going, that I would suffer the same fate, that I would have no mobility, that my kids would be taking care of me, including my toileting and getting me dressed and all that stuff, all those difficulties. I was like, nope, that's not what I want. This is my why. and it your why should make you cry. And there have been times when I talk about that, I do, and it's not going to be tonight though, because I'm in such a good mood tonight. So I bought myself a shirt at Buc-ee's. I'm just going to model it for you. Suck it up, Buttercup. This is my new this is my new motto to myself. Like, when I feel sorry for myself, I'm just going to suck it up and keep going. Thank you for that. I don't even know if I answered your question properly. It took a long time, a long damn time. Let's put it that way. Gadget Lily, what breed is Teddy? He and Pippi they are really adorable. Pippi is a purebred, long-haired Chihuahua. Teddy is also a long-haired Chihuahua of sorts. He's definitely got other stuff in him that I don't really know. Maybe some Pomeranian. Well, I can't even say the word. The dog. He might have some of that in him. Maybe a terrier. I don't really know, but he's got the personality. They both have big personalities for such little dogs. Hey, Meatstock 2026 is here. Yes, Meatstock 2026. You guys can sign up for that already. They've already got a venue. They've got speakers like you wouldn't believe. Thank you, Scott. I'm sure that it's you that is behind that Meatstock 2026 name there. Thank you so much for being here and for inviting me to come. And I really look forward to 2026. You wouldn't believe the speaker lineup. You guys have to go check it out. Scott, if you have the website, if you're still here and you have the website link, please post it in the live chat, and one of the moderators will probably put it up on the screen here too, because I highly encourage those of you who are thinking of going. I highly encourage you to sign up early because the only way that people were getting tickets towards the end of March and April was if someone had a ticket already and couldn't make it, they were putting them up for sale. That was your only way to get a ticket. So do sign up early. Okay, let's see here. Michelle, are you close enough for a visit in Victoria when the low-carb cruise comes to port in June? I'd love to meet you. Well, Michelle, I'm going to be on that cruise, so you will meet me on the boat. I'm very excited to be on the cruise, and I'll be there I'll be here the whole week. So please come and find me. And we will, we'll have a chat and a visit. Okay, let's see. That's pretty exciting. GK, Anita, you are my hero. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. I don't know what I've done to earn that, but I'm glad that I have. Glenda, do you eat till you're full or do you limit how much you eat? I generally eat until I'm satisfied. I know that some people say to eat until you're stuffed, and I've never been able to. I don't like feeling stuffed. I do want to feel satisfied. Like I would never stop if I was hungry still. I would have a little bit more. And I feel like that the meat and the fat, it does. Sometimes I just go a little bit further than satisfied because the meat and the fat does make you feel like you're full pretty quick. At least it does for me. And depending on the type of meat too, there's certain types of meat. So this is sort of a gray area. Okay. So certain types of meat, I do have to moderate. Let's talk about bacon for a minute. I could eat a pound of bacon, maybe more, in one sitting. There's something about bacon. Meat chips is another example. I have sliced an entire roast up, put it in the dehydrator, thinly sliced pieces of meat, make chips. Once those chips start coming out of the dehydrator and I start eating them, it's very difficult to stop. And I have been known to eat an entire roast in a day because they're chips. So, but yet, if the roast was there and I was slicing off pieces of roast, a few slices would fill me up and I'd be more than satisfied. So it is a little tricky depending on what kind of meat we're talking about. Things like steaks and chops and roasts, I have no problem self-moderating. I eat till I'm full. It's all good. But there are other things. Cheese is another thing. Cheese is something that I have to be careful of because it's something that you eat a little piece of cheese, you can keep eating it and it doesn't seem to make me full. Even if I'm full, I could have a piece of cheese. You know what I mean? So it's an it depends answer. Those certain foods, and I kind of have them identified in my mind. I follow that green light, yellow light, red light system. Green light foods are pretty much all meats and fats. Yellow light foods for me are cream, cheese, bacon, meat chips. Meat chips are on that list. Those are foods that I have to be cautious about and that I have to have some kind of self-awareness. Red light obviously is, the sugars and all the things that are just off the list. They're not things that I entertain. So I hope that kind of answers that question. Thanks for that, Glenda. TK Carnivore, do you limit the grams of protein at one meal? I'm wondering if it's affecting my results, as often I have a large steak and other meals under 20 to 30 grams. I don't. I think I know where you're coming from on there. There are some people that say that you can only absorb 30 grams of protein in a meal. I have done 2 meals a day sometimes. And since my target protein is about 125 to 130 grams of protein, that means, in those 2 meals, I'm getting, 65 grams of protein. And I test blood sugar, and also I have a few times worn a CGM, continuous glucose monitor, to see how things affect me. So if I eat a meal with 65 grams of protein in it, which is, not that hard for me, that's a can of salmon, 50 grams of protein in the cans of salmon that I eat, and maybe a couple of eggs or something on the side. That is easy for me to do, and there's no spike in my blood glucose. I feel okay doing that. So I don't. Everybody is different though, and so that's why I recommend that if you're struggling. Now, I just want to be clear that I went for years and I lost over 100 pounds without ever checking my ketones or my blood glucose on a monitor. It wasn't until I started getting to the point where I would lose, 2 pounds over a 6-month period, and I still have, weight to lose. So it wasn't until I was sort of getting on in my journey where as the closer I get to a goal weight, the harder it becomes and the more challenging it is. And, it just takes longer, it's slower. I wanted to see, well, what is going on? What am I in ketosis? Do I have, is something I'm eating spiking my blood glucose? So that's when I bought a Keto Mojo, and that's when I also started playing around with figuring out, what happens after I eat, before I eat, 2 hours later, all those sorts of things. So I'm just saying that, people don't have to measure those things. They can still get good results. But if you get to that point where you're just not sure what's going on, it was helpful to me. It was very helpful to me. And also it made me feel better that, okay, 30 grams of some people say 30 grams of protein is a max. That's been debunked, actually. Dr. Sean Baker put up some study on his channel saying, no, it's not true, not true. Here's a study. And my blood glucose does not go up when I eat 60 grams or 5 grams of protein in a meal. So I hope that helps to answer that question. You may be different though. If you have a way to test, I would encourage you to do so. I wouldn't think that a large steak should hurt you in any way, but you may have other things going on. You may have other types of healing that needs to happen. You may be insulin resistant. I don't know those things about you. And so everybody is different, and it would be good to get a handle on that for yourself. But thank you for the question. Sally Norton, yeah, Oma Z Life. She is a pioneer. She was an interesting roommate. She was a totally interesting roommate, definitely. I didn't expect her to be so funny, because the only times I've seen her before, she's giving these very serious presentations, and she's very serious about these oxalates. Like, she is dead serious, and presents such sobering statistics and facts, and so I just did not expect her to be kind of like me. I like to giggle and laugh, with my roommates, and have fun, and we just really got into that. We just it was a lot of fun. We were very compatible. So which was nice. It was nice to know. I just fell in love with her. I loved her before, from the information, like her book and everything, but it was even better after I got to know her as a person. Danny is asking if that was the first time I met Kelly Hogan in person. Last year, when I went to Meatstock 2024, was the first time I met Kelly. Of course, I had met her on Zoom many times because I am in her coaching groups, and but you don't get the full effect of Kelly Hogan until you meet her in person, because in the Zoom, she is bubbly and fun and everything else. When I met her in person, it was almost like meeting. She's tall. I was like, I didn't know you were this tall. She was like just so tall, and so that was surprising to me. I didn't know. I was ready for it this time when I saw her. She's so much fun in person too. Exposing darkness. It was great meeting you in Tennessee. Oh, okay. I don't know what your real name is. Maybe I don't even know if you told me. Some people did tell me, oh, I'm so and so on YouTube. But of course, that information is all gone because I met so many people. But I hope we had a good, a good meeting in Tennessee. So thank you for that. And Marie, welcome back. You looked amazing and so happy. I was very relaxed there. It was fun. There were so many of my people there, so I felt really good. Favorite food at Meatstock? I would have to say the night that they did a bunch of steaks that were all medium rare, just really salty. Dr. Kilt's one of the nights, I wish I had gotten a picture of this, on one of the evenings, he went out. This was after dinner. We had all been fed, but he went out. There was a couple of barbecues there, and he grilled a whole bunch of steaks and cut them up in nice slices. They were perfectly done. I need to find out how he did those, but he went around with trays passing everybody pieces of steak to eat that were just succulent. I would say that was my favorite. Although it was nice to have Chef Patty's meatloaf again. There's so many good choices there. It was hard. It's hard to pick a favorite. But thanks for that question. Grandma GGA, what I eat every day: 4 to 5 eggs at 11:30. And then at 4:45, 1 steak and electrolyte, 6 to 8 glasses of water. Morning coffee with 2 tablespoons of raw cream in my coffee. Scale is not moving. Help. Well, yeah, I don't know what is going on behind the scenes with you. Like, maybe you are insulin resistant. Maybe you've got some healing to do. So the thing about, this is obviously you're doing carnivore based on what you've described there. The thing with carnivore is that people who have healing to do, it doesn't necessarily happen at the same time as weight loss. And also, depending on what age group you're in, if you're in my age group, takes us a long time to have that happen. Like, weight loss is slower for us. We have all of that decades. In my case, I have decades of obesity behind me, and all the issues that are associated with being more than 100 pounds overweight for so many years. Those things matter. When you see people on YouTube, and you see a lot of them, when you see people in their 20s and 30s, and they did their carnivore, they stuck to it since day one, they got to their goal weight, several weeks later or a couple months later, they don't have those decades of damage that we have. Someone like us, you because you're called grandma, and I'm a grandma, I'm going to assume that that you and I might be in the same age group. I'm 67. And I'm really happy to say that, aside from the fact that I have arthritis in my knee, I'll always have that arthritis. Even though the pain is gone, I'll always have it. But that's really I would say it's the only thing wrong with me at this moment. Some people think I'm a little crazy. That might be something, but the only physical thing wrong with me is the arthritis in my knee. I'm on no medications for anything else, but it's taken me 10 years to get here. And losing weight at different rates, throughout this time. Right now it is slow as molasses. The fasting has helped as well, though. Lately, if you watched part 1 and part 2 of fasting, the live streams we did on fasting just recently before this one, I give a lot of information about the type of healing that happens when you try some intermittent fasting. And that does seem to move the needle for lots of people. Now, you did say you do that, you eat your first meal at 11:30 and then at 4:45. So presumably that sounds like you're fasting overnight, from 4:45 to 11:45 the next day. So that's good. And maybe it's time to try a 24-hour fast and then a 36-hour fast. I'm just throwing the suggestion out there that might be the next thing to move the needle. Or just keep doing what you're doing, because eventually, if you do all the right things, and we also know that it's not just the food. We're talking, like, I really strongly believe in the 4 pillars of health, and the other pillars are, like, of course, important pillar is the nutrition. There's also the sleep, there's also the movement, and there's also the stress relief. Meditation and stress. Movement would be making sure you get up from your desk throughout the day, stretch your legs, do some wall push-ups, some squats at the counter, go for walks, 10-minute walks after each meal, that sort of thing. Sleep, a lot of us are not sleeping enough, not getting a good quality sleep. We've got to get those lights off. Or use the blue blockers, go meet the morning sun in the morning if you can. Those sorts of things do matter. They are part of the whole picture of health. So, those are just some, without me knowing anything about you, those are the suggestions that I would have for most people to work on to get on that road to good metabolic health. But thanks for your question, and thanks for being here. Maha at Meatstock 2026, April 30th. Okay. This is the information of the dates. April 30th to May 4th, cabin retreat. May 2nd and 3rd is the convention in Gatlinburg. There is the website. Thank you, Melissa. So the difference this time is that it's going to be held at the convention center. So that means being down in Gatlinburg, where you are near all of the activities that go on in Gatlinburg, which is restaurants and hotels and whatever else they do down there. And parking for everybody, because I think parking was an issue this time too. People were having to be shuttled around, and I think it'll be better. It'll hold more people more comfortably. So, but yeah, check out that website. Thank you, Melissa. Carnivore Mama, do you find that yerba mate allulose makes you not hungry? That it does have that effect on me. I've tried it this week, and I feel like the last thing I want to think about is food. Yeah. So the reason I did do a video about that about a month or so ago, and the reason I wanted to try that is because I had heard that from other people like Dr. Ben Bickman and Nick Norowitz, people like that, talking about that effect. And I wanted to try fasting. And so because of doing that, I'm able to do these longer fasts now. And I've never before done a 36-hour fast or a 42. So I've been up to 48-hour fasting, which I've never been able to do. And that combination has helped me. I'm glad to hear it's helping you. And for those of you that are wondering about it, maybe it'll help. Your mileage may vary on these things. Sometimes these, and this is why I like to try different things. Sometimes they work for people. Sometimes they have zero effect. So it doesn't hurt to try, right? So if you're wondering about that, you can check out the video that I did about a month ago regarding yerba mate. I'm just going to do, we have a few more questions, but I'm just going to do another call. We're going to do the draw in 5 minutes. So if you haven't put the word frother in to win this frother from Equip or it'll be we're going to have 2 winners tonight. We're going to have someone win this and someone win these carnivore bars. So put in the word frother in the comments to win. We're going to do that draw in 5 minutes. I'm going to try to answer a couple more questions. Anita Lawler, do you think the entire retreat is worth it, or is the convention weekend enough at Meatstock? It really depends on what you're looking for. For myself, because I'm coming a long way from Western Canada to Tennessee, to me, it didn't seem worth it to just fly in for 2 days when I could stay in a cabin and have somebody cook meat for me for an extra few days. It was worth it to me, just to get away. So I looked at it as I'm going to be up in the mountains. I'm going to be in a cabin. People are going to cook meat for me. I'm going to be outside seeing those Tennessee sunrises over the Smoky Mountains. Heck yeah. That was so worth it for me. But if you are a busy, I'm retired now, I can do this sort of thing. But if you are a busy working person and can fly in, fly out, I mean, those 2 days is when all the speakers are there, and that's when all of these things are happening. So you're going to get a lot out of those 2 days. The other thing that's nice about the cabin retreat is you're staying with people like Sally Norton and Dr. Kiltz and Courtney Luna and those Kelly and those types of people. It's just a nice fellowship. For me, is a nice fellowship. Next year I'm going to tack on a day to go to Dollywood. Like it's like a little vacation for me. So depends on what you're looking for. Either way, you'll get to see all the speakers that you're going for. They will be in the convention part. D. Lee, I reached my 2005 weight yesterday. Less than, actually. Okay, I take it that's your low weight, and that's a good weight for you. I hope I can stay there. I don't know how I remember that. It's been a challenge, but still plugging along. And that's what I do. I just feel like I'm never going to go back to eating the seed oils and the processed foods and the sugars and all that stuff. This is how I'm going to eat now and forever. And so I'm just going to keep plugging along. And eventually I will get there. What else can I do? And what else do I want to do? Nothing. This is how I want to live. Jason, hey, Jason, remember that glucose spikes aren't just about the food you do or don't eat. Sleep and stress are major players as well and need your attention. 100%. So, and that's why I say those 4 pillars of health are so important, because they affect your ketones, they affect your blood glucose, they affect all the systems in your body. And, we focus on the food most of the time, but it is just one leg of this, it is one pillar in the 4 pillars of health. So thank you for that reminder, Jason. Margot Doll, I can say the same about you. You don't get the full effect of Anita until you meet her in person. Our chat on Saturday was a gift from God and truly rocked my carnivore world. Oh, Margot, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Wonderful for you to say that. Thank you. Okay, we better do the draw, and then I'm going to do the last couple of things here. Okay, let's go to the draw. We have 126 people entered. So, drum roll. Who is going to win the Frother? Frother is up first. Terry Hawk, you are the winner of the Frother. So please, well, actually, I'll give the instructions. We'll do the draw again. We're going to draw again. Thank you, Terry. I'm going to give you instructions in a moment. Now we're drawing for the carnivore bars. Linda Best. Okay. So here's the instructions to Terry Hawk and Linda Best. Send me an email, ketogenicwoman@gmail.com, and let me have your contact. I need all your contact information. Terry, you're going to get this beautiful Frother in the mail. And Linda, you're going to get these 2 carnivore bars to try. So you guys send me your contact information and I will take care of it. So let's go back here. Oh, Jason has gifted a Ketogenic Woman membership to Patricia Merriman. So thank you so much, Jason, for that. That is amazing. Patricia, we do hold a couple of Zoom meetings every week. You can find out that information in the membership area of YouTube. When you go to my channel, just look under the membership area. You'll see those Zooms. Congratulations. And thank you, Jason, again. Let me see here. Judith Armitage says sunlight is another important component of health. Yes, so it is in. I include that in the sleep pillar and also the stress reduction pillar. Sunlight plays into both those things. You want to anchor your circadian rhythm in the morning by getting sunlight in your face, and so it very important for proper sleep, very important for proper stress management. So. We are done today, I believe. Let me just check this last. We are done. So thank you guys so much for being here and coming out and listening to me rattle on about Tennessee. We'll be back with some kind of topic next week. And I really look forward to seeing you guys again. And those of you that won, please send me your contact information. Have a great week, everybody. Good night. I love you all, and I'm so happy to be back here with you all. Bye-bye.